Hey guys, and welcome to Pets of Azeroth. Decided to do this podcast because I enjoy the pet aspect of the game. I am Zero, and in this episode, I'm going to be going over some of the reasons why I decided to start this podcast and some of the tools I use to capture pets, collect pets, do pet battles. I'm going to go over all of that stuff, what add-ons I use to help in collecting and capturing and using pets, doing the pet dailies, doing the boss battles in each of the different zones and continents. I'm going to go over a lot of stuff involving pets. And why I like them. So, first off, I got into pet battles back at the end of Pandaria, early Warlords is when I started doing the pets. The Pet Menagerie came out with the garrisons, and I just really got into collecting them. I was also around the Warlords time when Transmog started getting popular, so I was also running older dungeons and raids, collecting Transmog equipment, and I was getting the pets from those too. So before I knew it, I had a pretty hefty collection of pets, and then I started looking for some information on doing the pet battles, being efficient, all of that kind of stuff. So I will include a lot of the information that I use to go throughout my pet battling stuff. I am also going to be putting these podcasts up in video form on my YouTube channel to help anybody who would rather use a visual or has the time to use a visual. So you can kind of see the stuff that I'm looking at and what I use. Take a look at my add-ons so you can see a visual of that. And I will also include links in show notes and links in my YouTube notes, video notes, to find some of those places. I'll leave descriptions, information, all that stuff. I did use Curse, which transferred into Twitch, so I use that to download all of my add-on stuff from. So to touch on add-ons first, I currently use 3. I use the Pet BreedID, and I'll pull those up here real quick on my add-ons. So I use the BreedID, which is right here, the Battle Pet BreedID. For those of you that are watching this, it's called Battle Pet BreedID, and what it does is it allows you to see the IDs of the pets you have, and then the pets that you're trying to capture. There are 3 different qualities that pets have, and those qualities are health, power, and speed. And pets can come with bonuses to different types of those stats. The different types of bonuses are going to be power, speed, health, and then balance. Balance kind of gives a little bit of a boost to all 3. I'm going to attempt in these videos, when I go over some of the battles, to try to give options to different boss battles and whatnot of any type of a pet you can use. Not try to be specific towards the specific breeds or the specific setups. So that way, if you collect a pet that comes in different types, you can still use it. So I'm going to try and aim that way when I start going through these boss battles and pet battles and different things. So BreedID allows you to see what types of bonuses that particular pet has. For those of you watching the video right now, right here, my Anubis idol, he is a health. He only comes as a health. And you can see that information underneath his portrait there. It says I've collected 1 of 3, and there it says what types of breeds they come in under possible breeds, and he is only a health. And he's also a drop from Anchorage. He drops off one of the bosses there, and I will go into those too as we go. I may include the raids as I get to those particular zones, but I'm not sure how I'm going to do all that stuff yet. But that HH that you can see there, that is the BreedID. That is how you can see those. That's what's added from the add-on. They also show up when you're battling pets. When I get into a pet battle later, I'll show you what I mean. So that's one of the add-ons I use. The next add-on I use is going to be, I think it's Rematch. Let me pull it up here real quick. So we went over Battle Pet BreedID. The other one I use is Rematch, which is also a pet battle. And it alters your pet journal. And then the other pet one I use is PetTracker, which allows pets to show up on your not your mini map, but on your map. And then it also has a sub tracker that shows up underneath your quest bar, like you can see over here for those of you watching the video. It'll show what pets are in that area, and of course how many of those pets you've collected. And it also helps with making sure you don't catch duplicates, because a lot of zones do have duplicates of the same pets. If you choose to go out and get them because of different skins and whatnot, that's fine, but they're basically just different skins of the same thing. So I'm not trying to collect them all. I'm trying to do at least get one of each of the unique types of pets, at least to fill up as any boxes or anything like that as far as achievements go, stuff like that. But PetTracker and Rematch are the ones I use, and PetTracker just allows the pet bubbles to show up on your minimap, and I believe it just shows the spawn locations. So when you go into your minimap, it'll show where the different pets are, where they show up. If you use any of the GPS type add-ons like TomTom, you can pull up those locations, hover over them on your map. You should be able to get the spawn location coordinates. You should be able to type those into TomTom to get there directly. But you can use those, and you can use the tracker or the minimap tracker to check which ones for that zone that you have collected. Some of these add-ons at the time of this recording have not been updated for 8.3, which is out now. So I am waiting on those to take place, just so I can keep the functionalities of them. I don't know exactly how long some of those take, but some of them have been updated, some of them have not. But that is PetTracker. PetTracker allows you to track specific pets. You can toggle it on and off. You can do a bunch of different options with that as far as finding where these pets are and stuff like that. And then the Rematch, which is the one that adjusts your pet journal, allows you to do a bunch of different things. Showing this particular add-on off is probably going to be better for the video watchers, but I'll try and go into as much detail as I can on the podcast. But it's called Rematch, and it changes up your pet list of all the captured pets you have a little bit. Adds a little bit of extra stuff in there as far as searching for pets that you're needing, or searching for pets that you want to capture, or what ones you're specifically looking for in a battle, if you're trying to do one of the boss battles. So it's got a pretty decent chunk of a search bar up here and filter to filter through and look for specific pets that you are looking for, to build the team that you're going to use for that particular battle. In the center, it has the 3-person team that you're putting together, where your team is, and at the top of that, in the center of the pet journal, has a target, and it does have all of the world bosses in there, or the different zone bosses. It has world quests in there for like the new zones, so like Najatar, Mechagon. It's got the Kulturus zones, the Zandalar zones. It's got the new zones in there, and you can go through there. Just like for the world quest, for example, I'm sitting in Kulturus right now at Tiragard Sound. One of the pet battles that are up today is the big carcass, which is Delia Hanako. She's over there by the big Hydra-like rare that's usually over there for World Quest. She's over there, and she's the World Quest that's up today. So with the PetTracker, or the Rematch, you can go in there, you can select Kulturus, you can go to Tiragard Sound. Now, they're not in there by the World Quest, they're in there by the name of the actual person you have to go battle. So you would select Delia, you would set up the team that you want to use against her, and once you've set it up, and it'll give you a little green check mark by her name saying that you have a team saved for that. If you go in there and pick that team, and it'll show her as your target, and you hit load, it'll auto-load that team you've already built. Once you've gotten a team built up for her, it will load up that team. So it's really cool because you can save the team that you need to go fight her, and then each time she comes up as a world quest, you would just go in there, select that team out, and then hit load, and it'll be good to go. Now, the right hand side is basically a way to bypass what we just did in the middle. So once a team gets saved, it fills up this right box. And then also, on the outside of the pet journal, you can create these tabs to save teams. And then you can label them, name them, and save them there. So I have each of the continents set up for whatever pet battles I've gone through so far at this time, and you can add to those tabs for the pet battles and everything else that you need to do. I have them saved all the way up through to the new zones for Battle for Azeroth. And so if I go into my Battle for Azeroth tab here, I have Delia already saved. So if I just click on her, it'll set up the team. And then all I have to do is go find her and go through the battle. So the middle section up at the top is for finding one of the targets you want to set up, and then set it up, save the team, and then the right hand side is the easiest way to go pick them up. So those are the 3 add-ons I use primarily for pet battling. I enjoy them. They do stay up to date fairly regular. It's only been a week since the patch 8.3 release. So I would expect, hopefully maybe throughout the course of this coming week, that those would get updated. And some of them will go back to complete normal functionality. Some of them aren't functioning too well because of the patch updates. Like I said, they'll get updated and we'll get from there. So those are the add-ons. Next up, I would like to go over maybe some tips or some helpful hints for anybody who is new to the game or is new to the pet battles. Some of these will help out new leveled characters. Some of these will help out people who are already max level. But they're just general tips that if you have the ability to do some of this stuff, it will help you out on your way to getting a pet team together and then leveling other pets. So before, just for a little bit of a backstory, before Legion and Battle for Azeroth come out, leveling pets was primarily done through pet battles. You could basically power level pets. Certain battles, when those would come up each week or each day, or how often they were on their cooldown, you could go in, battle them, and basically get pets leveled up relatively quickly. Since Legion and Battle for Azeroth has come out, it has been much easier to go through the world quests, at least in my opinion, to go through the world quests and grind out the tokens, the bat petal tokens, or pet battle tokens, and purchase the training stones. That has proven easier for me here recently, with the amount of different pet battles and stuff that are available each day, and the ease of getting those pet battles completed has proven the easiest method of me for to get the stones. So for those of you watching my video, in here you can see there's different stones you can buy. You can get the mystery bags. I would recommend getting those mystery bags off the bat as you collect pet tokens, the shiny or the polished pet charms, because they have multitudes of the different class specific leveling stones which add one level to a pet of that particular class. I don't have much to show off of my stockpile of stones and training stuff because I do primarily do a lot of my pet battles on my mage, not my main tank, which you see me here on, just because I feel the mage has a better bit of portability. They can teleport to the different major cities, they can teleport to different areas, and I feel it's just easier to get, especially when I was coming through and doing the different pet battle quests that start in either Stormwind or Orgrimmar, depending on where you start, whether you're Horde or Alliance. So for me, I'm going to try and make these videos and podcasts as Horde and Alliance friendly as possible. I'm going to start with the BFA zones, go over the different pet battles, go over the different pets you can catch, and I'm going to try and do one Alliance, one Horde, one Alliance, one Horde, bounce back and forth between all the different zones until I'm finished. And then what I'm thinking of doing after that is going back,
appreciate your patronage.
starting from the older zones and going that route. Start from the older zones, touch each zone, you know, go over what pets are available, which ones you can only find in that zone, what boss battles are in the zone, stuff like that. And I'm just going to hit each of them. I do expect these podcast videos to last anywhere between 30 minutes and an hour, depending on the topic at that point in time. And that's the hope as far as going through those. So for a new person, completely new, that would like to get into the pet battles, I would go through the quest chains in the first major cities. I believe it's Stormwind and Orgrimmar. I'm not sure if those quests can start anywhere else in the other major cities. For me, personally, when I first started, it was in Stormwind, and that person is located out by the lake, the large lake that has the island in the middle where all of the Cataclysm Zone entrances are. They're standing out there by a tree. You go talk to them. I don't believe there is a level restriction to start it, although I could be wrong. But if there is, it's probably either going to be level 10 or level 20, most likely. But you go out there, she'll walk you through catching a pet, using a pets in a pet battle. She'll take you through all of the steps, all of the quests, for you to start doing that. Once you start doing that, and she'll give you some cages, and you'll be able to go out on your own. Start fighting some pets, trying to capture them, building up your teams. That is one way to do it. And if you are low level with no other tunes yet, or alts, you can go that route, or you can be patient and focus on leveling and use some of these tips to kind of get you ahead of some of those things. So at the end of Pandaria, or somewhere around Warlords, I went and started that quest, so I already had a max level character. So I went through, did all those quest lines, and then from running Transmog and other stuff, I had already had a collection of pets already built up. Never got into battling, was just collecting. It's like, oh cool, these things are nice to have, and they follow you around. But once the pet battles started picking up, and I took a look at those, I was like, okay, these could be fun. So I started looking into it, and my recommendation is, if you want to go out and catch pets, go ahead. I would recommend, if you're able to run some of the old raids. Like I said, this would be for somebody who's got a character leveled up. Or if you did start pet battling when you were low level, wait until you level up. Go back, run some of the old raids, and try and get some of the pets to drop from those bosses. That would be my recommendation, because you don't have to battle them. You do have to rely on RNG, unfortunately, but you can grab some of those pets out of there, and then you'll get yourself some baseline teams put together. There's also some pets you can purchase. All of the pets that drop from raids can be purchased on the auction house. So there's another option. If you don't want to wait, or if you just want to take care of it, you can just, if you got the money, go buy some pets off the auction house. Buy some of the ones you're looking for, buy some of the ones you want, and use them and start leveling them up from there. Now, I will be honest, at least for now still, one of the hardest parts to leveling the pets is getting your first set of groups, your first group leveled up. that is what takes the longest, in my opinion. But once you get a few pets up, leveled up, max level, which is 25 for pets, then things will start getting easier. But those would be my recommendations on at least how to get some. Now, as far as also getting some, once you do get some teams put together, you're going to want to start focusing on getting some of those polished pet charms, so you can start buying some of the stones, start buying some of the stuff, so you can quickly level pets, other pets that you've collected throughout, however you've collected those. So the good news is, and I think this happened as of patch 8.3, all of the pet battles now scale, which means if you only have level 1 pets, you can go out, you can go do the Delia daily quest, world quest that's up right now, and take your level 1s in there, and all of her pets will be level 1. So I believe that come into effect with 8.3. So that'll make that easier on some people. So you can come out here, you can still do some of these daily world quests, get those charms, and buy stones. So that's another good news. It'll make that a bit easier for people. So now that we've gotten over catching some pets and or just collecting the pets either from raids or from the auction house, now you're building up your teams and building up your teams to fight the different bosses. There's a couple of websites out there you can go to that will give you team suggestions. So as of the last time that I checked, for example, Delia, which is the big carcass's world quest, one of the better options to fight her is with the dire beak hatchling and the snowfeather hatchling, and basically just those two pets. I do know that those lists change periodically, and one of the ones I use is Xu-Fus. That is XU-FU' Pet Battle Strategies. That's one of the ones I use the most, and I will include the name of his site into the links, the descriptions, so people can go in there, look them up, save them to your Firefox, whatever you use, so you can access them whenever those world quests are up, so you know what pets to go in there and get. So currently, Interior Guard Sound, Big Carcass is the quest that's up right now, and it looks like the dire beak and the snowfeather are still the primary ones to use. And the good thing is with Xu-Fus, the majority of the time, if they can help it, they do use any breed available. So it doesn't matter what breed you have, any breed should work. And it also tells you which skills you need to have for each of the 3 skill slots for pets. Each skill slot has 2 skills. You can have either one active at a time, and it tells you which one of those to have, whether it's the first skill or the second skill. The first skill, the second skill, first skill, the second skill. So for example, looking at Xu-Fus, it wants us to have skill 1, which is the Falcoscore Swarm, for the dire beak. Skill 2 for the second skill, which is Iron Skin, and then skill 1 for the third skill, which is Predatory Strike. And then for the snowfeather, the first 2 don't matter. only we need Predatory Strike for the third skill. And then your third pet, it says you can have any pet in there, any max level pet that you have available. Now, with the scaling, I'm guessing that they didn't go back and put some groups together for the scaling, because until you reach max level, it shouldn't matter. If you can get a good group of pets together to go in there and fight that fight up until you get leveled up, then you'd be fine. The other thing that would help is the types, pet types. That is another thing to look at when leveling pets, to try and get type advantage, because that does increase your damage against the other type. So what I mean by that is Dahlia, she uses all 3 aquatic type pets. And that's the other thing, when you're using the target thing for Rematch, it has what she looks like, her character model, and what pet she's using. You can hover over them and see what they are and what skills they have flagged. So she uses 3 aquatic pets, so we're using 2 flying pets, because these 2 combined should be enough to take care of her team. And it also gives you the turn by turn on Xu-Fus. It also gives you the turn by turn on what ability to use at what turn. So it's good. I've used it since I've gotten into pet battles, and it's helped a lot. It's helped me collect a lot of stones, because I get a lot of the charms and I return them out for stones. So Xu-Fus is one I like to use, and it's, at the moment, it's the only site that I use to get through some of my pet battles. I check it periodically just to see if any of the battles that I've got saved already have changed. They do tend to bounce around, because he's got alternative battles in here too. If you don't have those 2 pets, there's other battles that you can use if you don't have quite those pets. So there's also one up here where you can use a Chi-Chi, which is a pet from the Timeless Isle, and a Jade Owl, which is a crafted pet, which there's some of those too, where you can put that team together and go through and fight. And it does appear like they are putting pet battles in here for lower level characters. That way you can use some pets to level. It looks like it. So they still have some leveling options in here, but it's not as lucrative as it used to be. During the pet battle week, whenever those are up, that'd be a good time to level them, because you do get a little bit of the bonus experience from it. But that usually only matters in building some teams together, because once you get a couple of teams built together, then you should be able to just farm up those pet charms and then level your pets without having to battle them and get pets leveled up as you go. It took me a couple of weeks to get a team built my first time through. Once I got them all built up, I would just farm up charms as I go, and then level other pets as I got them. And then there are some pets. I got some recommended pets that I would recommend getting as soon as you possibly could. That way, it would make the ease of getting more pets after that a little bit easier. So one of my recommendations is going to be the Terrible Turnip. And you can get him in Valley of the Four Winds, which is Pandaria, and he's a world drop. He is tradable, and fairly common. He only comes in one breed, which is Power Speed. But the reason that he is liked is because of his first skill, Weakening Blow. He cannot drop an enemy down below 1 hit point. So if you've got a pet that you want to capture, throw him out there once you've killed the other ones, or depending where he's at in the lineup, and knock him down to 1 HP. Keep knocking him down to 1 HP until you get a successful capture chance. Now, I know with some of the changes to the pet battles and stuff, you can upgrade your cages. I'm not sure when those actually start, but you can upgrade the cages so that your capture chances improve. I believe those come by completing specific achievements now. So as you complete some achievements, your pet capture rate goes up. Let me go check here. Let me see here. So yeah, getting pets leveled up increases, at least on this one, it increases your traps. So there are some of the traps that are tied to your pet battles and allow those to level up. I've still got a lot more of these to go. There's also a hat that you can get from defeating the Master Pet Tamers. Once you defeat 40 of them, you get the Safari hat, which as you wear it during pet battles, your pets get bonus experience. I have not completed that yet, but I'm close. Got 6 left to go get that. And then they've also added the pet battle dungeons, which you can now go through a dungeon and pet battle. There's achievements for not swapping out any pets, as far as the primary team you take with you. So there's achievements on that. They are covered also in Xu-Fus. I believe they've got guides up to go through to one-shot everything with one team without having to change. There's a achievement for doing it without healing any of your pets. There's as far as outside of battle, abilities that heal your pets are fine. So they've got all those out there. Stratholme is the newest, I believe, and it just opened up with our Stratholme and Blackrock Depths. I believe those just opened up. Recently with 8.3, maybe 8.25, but so those are some of the achievements, and then you can upgrade your capture abilities so you can you have better chances to capture. But those are some of my recommendations. Terrible tune-up. Go run around the Valley of the Four Winds. See if you can get one to drop. It's a random world drop. Check the auction house. If they're not super expensive, buy one off of there if you've got the gold for it. Another recommendation would be the Anubis Idol. He's just a strong humanoid. He drops out of Anchorage off one of the bosses. He's also available in the auction house. And then Chrominius is another good one. He's got an ability that hits all pets, all enemy pets. He's got the Arcane Explosion. He also has a Howl Bomb, which is basically two abilities tied together that makes one ability decreases defense, the other ability just does a massive amount of damage, and even more damage because the defense is decreased. It was popular there for a while when pet battles first started. It still can be used in some instances, but Crominius is a strong, high HP pet that has an AoE basically. And that'll help by knocking down pets pretty quickly. So you can, kill more pets, especially if you're not currently in the capture mode. You can just go through, tear them up, and get your pets leveled up. And another way is, another thing about battling and leveling, each of the pets has to actually participate in the fight to get experience. So if you just go out there with, like, say, Crominius, and your two backline pets don't fight at all, and he just kills everything, they won't get experience. He'll get it all because they didn't actually swap out to the front line to do any damage. So he's a good one to get.
I need a target.
All three of these pets are drops and therefore should be available on the auction house, and they should be really easy to get, or you can go run their respective dungeons and or areas and or raids to get them. Crominius, he drops out of Blackwing Lair. I don't remember if that's a level 60 or a level 85. I don't remember if that was Cataclysm or not, but he drops out of there off of Chromagus, so you can grab him. I've gotten a few of them and have sold the extras. Anubisith Idol, I tried for a couple of weeks because raids unfortunately reset on weeks, and couldn't get him. I eventually broke down, bought him off the auction house. Terrible Turnip, I found a couple of those. I've sold the other ones and just kept one as I needed. And a lot of these monsters, at least these drops, they come in one breed and one breed only, which is also really nice. Capturable pets, I would recommend trying to grab as soon as possible, because they are widely used. Some rabbits, getting a couple of rabbits. There are some boss battles that use rabbits. Some use moths. What else are popular? The infected squirrel. You can find those over in the Draenei starting location. They're in all sorts of places. Bloodmist Isle, Eastern Plaguelands, Silver Pine Forest. They're not tradable, but they're capturable. So if you come across one of those, I would try to get one. If you had to pick up a couple of pets immediately, or I would say as your first sets of pets, I would definitely recommend getting the turnip first, for sure. And then some type of a damage dealer, so you can knock out some, maybe an AoE damage dealer. Crominius would be a good one. I don't know a whole lot of other major AoE damagers. And then the rest of the pets, a lot of them come from drops in old raids, so you can run back and get those if you're able to do those. When you get up to Pandaria, the Timeless Isle is a good place to go to find a lot of pets. Almost all of the rares out there drop a pet, so running around out there for a little while trying to capture pets would be a good thing. Other capturable pets, some of the water striders, Those ones are pretty popular. Some of them have each different abilities, so some of the specific ones may be requested. Let's see, I know some of the turtles, some of the aquatics, frogs, turtles, those ones are popular in different spots, different areas. Some of the birds are also popular. Some of the parrots and different other flyers are popular. Some of the what yes, are they critter or are they frost? Some of the popular beast type animals, which I don't have any. The Infernal Pyre Crawl drops off of Fireland's Major Domo. I don't use him for a lot, but he's a good beast type to get. Like I said, I just do collecting right now. The Unborn Valkyr is another really, really popular one to grab that's used a lot. Some of the owls, the snowy owl is a popular one. Some of the frogs, crabs, some of the beetles are used occasionally. But you can just check out Xu-Fu's website. Look at the different pet battle bosses, pet battle tamers, see what the recommended teams are for them. Now, coming up and leveling up the pet battle tamers of like the Eastern Kingdoms and Kalimdor, those I believe scale now too, but they used to be per the level of the zone. But now that everything scales all together and everything, I believe they may all scale with whatever you come in there with, which could be beneficial to some people. But those are my recommendations. Those are a list of the add-ons I use, and starting with the next episode, I will be going over the information and the pets of Tierguard Sound. I'll go over the different world quests that show up, which are the boss battles for that zone, and I will touch on what pets are available in that zone, including Borealis Harbor, which has some pets itself. So I'll be touching all over Tierguard Sound, pets that are capturable, and all that information on the next episode. I am still working on getting some of contact information for the podcast put together. Like I said, these will be going on my YouTube channel, which is Xeru's Game Guides. So I'll be posting all these on there. I will include a link to the videos in the podcast description. That way, if y'all want to watch the video instead, you can go there. So I will leave a list for the YouTube channel there. I'm going to work on getting an email together for the podcast. That way, if you guys want to go over some specific pets, or if you guys have any questions, you'll be able to reach out, and I'll be able to let you know what to do in certain situations, or if you just need help finding stuff. I'll be putting some different ways to contact me. So if you need help on pets, or if you need help on anything else, I'll be able to reach out, let you know. So I'll be getting all that stuff put together over the next week or so, trying to get all that put together. And then my main character, like I said, is Xeru. I am on Hydraxis US. If you guys want to get together now that all of the raids can be cross-whelmed and stuff, if you want help going to collect some of the pets from different raids, if you don't want to pay for them or can't pay for them, I wouldn't mind running you through a raid, helping you get through a raid to see if we can get that pet drop for you. So I can do that too on my free time. But I do intend on trying to get these podcasts and video casts out every week, weekly. So that's about all I've got for today. So thank you very much for coming, and I will see you all next week when we go into Tier God Sound and Borealis Harbor, go over the different pets there, the ones you can catch, the unique pets, and the different bosses that are scattered around Tier God Sound. Thank you.